Hello everybody and welcome back to another waterbending tutorial. Last episode we went over the basic moves and how to use them, just the fundamentals basically. But this time we're going to be going into a little bit more complex stuff. We're going to be going into combos. So as you can see on my right hand side, my slots aren't all the way filled, but that's okay because these are the only moves we're going to need for our particular combos. Before we get started, I want to mention, just like the previous video, this is specifically for the config of the Mega Crafting Bending server. Other servers might have combos different or might have more combos. It kind of goes back and forth. This is how to use the ones that are currently available as of September 7th on the Mega Crafting Bending server. So let's go ahead and get started. The first combo we're going to cover is Water Gimbal. This is an offensive attack and you require water manipulation and torrent. Like the name implies, combos require multiple moves to function. So what we're going to be doing is activating and switching between these two different moves here in order to create a third, more powerful move. Think of it a little bit like Street Fighter. In order to do a special move, you can combine up, down, left, right. We're kind of doing the same thing here, but with our slots and crouching and shifting. Before we get into all of this, I want to clarify some words that I'm going to use later on here. So when I say tap, what I mean is, that's it. Just a quick tap. Tap of the crouch, just tap. So in order to start this one, we're going to have to look at a water source, and we are going to tap crouch on torrent twice, then switch over to water manipulation and hold crouch. So we're going to put this all together. Tap, tap, switch, hold crouch. And as you can see, I'm holding crouch, still holding. And we've got these two little rings of water moving around me right now. And what we can do with these is we can aim, we can punch, and that water will shoot out and do damage. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but the water, when you shoot it out, it follows your cursor as you move along. So I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. I'm going to look at a water source right here, tap crouch on torrent twice, tap tap, switch, hold crouch. There it is. And then we're going to go ahead and shoot them off. Pew! Bam! And each of those, in the current configuration, do 1 heart of damage. So it's worth mentioning that you can draw water from a lot of different places. And like we covered in the previous video, there are different sources of water that you can use for your moves, like leaves and plants and ice and snow. A lot of these can also be used for combos. So as you can see, I'm going to walk up to this tree here. I'm going to look at this leaf. There we go. I just summoned a water gimbal by using a leaf block. So there are a lot of different places where you can get sources for your combos. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to our next combo. This one is going to be Water Flow. Water Flow is one of the harder combos, so you're going to need to focus a lot on this one. So, for this combo, you're also going to need water manipulation and torrent in the same way. So because Water Flow is one of the more complex combos, we're going to do it slow, step by step, and then we're going to put it all together. It won't necessarily work if you do it slow, so we're just going to go through the steps, and then we're going to speed it up. So, we're going to look at our water source. Start on water manipulation. Tap crouch, switch to torrent, tap crouch, now press and hold, and keep holding, then switch back to water manipulation while still holding crouch, then release crouch and look up, or look around, wherever. Those are the steps, but we need to do it faster if we want to summon the water flow. So now I'm going to do it really fast just to kind of show you how it works. So I'm going to start on water manipulation, tap, switch, tap, press, hold, switch back, release. And there it is. There's our water flow. Now as you can see, it follows our cursor, moves around, and if I punch, it turns to ice, right where I have it. So obviously this can be used for a lot of different scenarios. It can be used to toss somebody around, throw around mobs, but how I like to use it is mainly as a form of transportation. Let's say you're in the water or you're close to the water and you summon one, you can bring yourself up in your own water flow and bring yourself wherever you need to go. So let's say I need to go over to that volcano really fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the water. I'm going to do the combo. And right now I'm in it. And I can fly myself over here while in my own... Now you got to make sure not to be too high off the ground when water flow stops, or else you will take fall damage as a waterbender, which would suck. And speaking of transportation, we're going to go ahead and move into our next combo. This one is Ice Wave. This combo combines phase change and water spout in order to create a damaging, high action, yet pretty situational tool. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I've conscripted some of my pig friends to help me out here to show you how it works. So as we went over in the previous video, this is how water spout works. We figured it out. We punch the water, hold, crouch, release, and we kind of just follow our cursor wherever we need to go. So we're going to be doing the same thing, but adding another step. So we're going to have our water spout circling around us. We can do this, of course, a lot faster, but I'm slowing it down for you. We're going to release, and while we're moving, I switch to phase change and punch. Now, as we can see, I ran into the pig. The pig did take damage and is also now encased in ice. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time, this time in F5 mode so you can kind of see what's going on. Keep an eye on my slot so you kind of see what's going on while I'm switching between water spout and phase change, and there's also an audio cue to tell you that you've done it successfully. So, here we go. There it is. I don't know if you saw that, but my spout was ice. So obviously this makes it a little bit more difficult to move around because instead of moving through water, you aren't being propelled by solid blocks. Sometimes you can run into things and encase yourself in ice and it causes problems, so you gotta phase change it out. But usually, if you do it right, you can run into somebody and encase them in ice. For example, my little pig friend over here, I think he's a little bit hot, so I'll go ahead and cool him down. And there he goes, encased in ice. And I don't know if you saw that, but the little damage indicator above my health bar showed you that he does take damage. This is a damaging move. If you hit somebody with it, they will get hurt. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'd be pretty hurt if I was run into at Mach 5 by several tons of ice. Did that bat just run into a cactus? Alright, for our next combo, this one is a kind of defensive / offensive move. It is called Ice Bullet. This one does a lot of damage. It doesn't have that good of a range, but it really packs a punch. I would use this as a shotgun style combo. So, we're going to use Water Bubble and Ice Blast to pull this one off. So, we're going to go to our water source. We're going to tap crouch with Water Bubble, and then switch to Ice Blast and hold crouch with Ice Blast. If we combine that really quickly, then we should have our Ice Bullet. So, let's go ahead and do that. Tap, tap, hold. There it is. Here it is. Here's our little Ice Bullet thing. Now, I know you can't see it, but I am indeed shooting out projectiles. It's a mechanic of Minecraft that you can't see snowballs through ice. I'm not sure why that is, but that's the case. Ice Bullet shoots out snowballs that do 1 heart of damage per hit. So, while you can't necessarily see it, I promise it's there, and I promise you're doing damage. So let's go ahead and take this lovely pig, for example. And we're going to use our cactus as this water source for us. Now, a couple things before we start shooting him. We have to wait for that water that was encasing us earlier. That has to turn to ice before we can start shooting. And then in order to shoot, we punch the ice in the direction we want to shoot our snowball. So let's go ahead and put that to the test. Tap, tap, hold. Where's our pig friend? Here he is. Punch, 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 punch. And there he goes. Bacon. And like I said before, this is a very high damage move, very high DPS. However, it's very circumstantial. and you also can't move around while you're encased in ice, so you kind of become this turret, so to speak. Best case scenario for using it is when your enemy is pinned up against a wall or in a corner and are in a situation that they can't necessarily get out of too quickly, and that's the best way to get off a few hearts of damage on them and then maybe switch to something else. I feel like it's worth mentioning, just like with some other combos, that there are different sources of water that you can use to create them. So even if you're in a pretty water-free environment, you can still use a plant to pull off an ice bullet. So there we go. We just use the top half of this tall fern to give ourselves a little turret doing, oh, we can see out the top. There's the snowballs we're shooting out. Those do pack a punch. For our final move, I had to move over to this pond here and get up on a water spout because it is a highly, highly situational move. Maelstrom combines phase change and torrent to create a borderline inescapable whirlpool. I say borderline inescapable because there are a variety of ways to escape it, but for all intents and purposes, it's very difficult to escape. So when I say situational, I mean that Maelstrom can only be performed in certain bodies of water. There's a checklist that Maelstrom goes through to determine whether or not it can be done in a certain area. So a lot of people make the mistakes of going to maybe like this 1 block deep body of water and trying to pull it off, but it won't work. And the simple answer is, the water's just not deep enough. The water needs to be at least 4 blocks deep to be performed. So the combo for Maelstrom must be performed while looking at a body of water that is at least 4 blocks deep. We're going to start on phase change, hold crouch while looking at this deep body of water, then switch to torrent and punch twice. So, hold crouch, switch to torrent, punch twice. And then we'll see these particles appear, and your whirlpool starts to form. Now obviously this is kind of small, but if I break my spout, I am stuck in here. I can't get out until it eventually fades away. So now I've shown you every single move that's available to you as a waterbender on the Mega Crafting server. Whether it be slot moves or combos, all of these are at your disposal. However, how you use them is very important. Now that you know about all of these moves and combos, it's up to you to create cool strategies and how to combine them together and use them to be a beast on the battlefield and become a real waterbending master. I've already got a couple strategies that I use myself to combine these different moves together to maximize the amount of damage that I can do, and I think that's what I'm going to be showing you next. In the next video, I'm going to do a combat overview where I'm going to show you a couple of the strategies and the moves that I use together in order to do as much damage as I can to my opponent while minimizing the amount of damage done to me. So until then, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. And if you ever need to, you can come back to this video, get a little refresher on how to do the combos. It's not going anywhere. Or if you forget how to do any of the basic moves, you can go back to my previous video and check that one out too. But next up, I'm going to show you how to use these moves in combat. See you then. Bye bye.